Hi, it's me again with Corel tips and tricks. I've used the rectangle tool a lot, but I've really never done a video to this extent on the rectangle tool. When you click on the rectangle tool, you get this little symbol of a rectangle. All you have to do is just hold down your left mouse button and you can control the depth and the width and the size of the rectangle. Now, with that said, if you hold down the control button while doing it, you get a perfect square no matter which way you go. Now, when we have a square or a rectangle, let's put that in the center of the page, you've got these 8 handles and an X in the middle. If you double click on the X, you have a different set of rotation. This is so you can rotate it. These are skew, so you can skew it one way or the other. And you can change the center of the rotation by moving the center to wherever you want, and then it will rotate around that center. Now, with that said, you can undo it and get back to where you were if you wanted in the center. And if I want to draw this rectangle and I want it 1 inch, so my rulers are set at 0, 0, 0, 0, and you can do that just by taking this little symbol right here and clicking on that node, and now you've got rulers at 0, 0. If I have it here with the object origin, if I move it to the top left corner, and right here, if I type in 1 and a -1, it's going to put it 1 inch from the corner, 1 inch from the side. With that said, I could put it 0, 0. I do this a lot to get a plaque or anything to the center of the, to the edge of the laser bed. Now, with that said, you can use the shift tool. The shift tool, while moving it, only allows you to go horizontally or vertically from the original spot. You can't go vertically or horizontally, but from that spot. That's a pretty big deal if you were making another rectangle and you wanted it, so far apart, because you could do this and then while holding down the shift key, hit your space bar and it'll put a copy there. Let's see what else we could talk about. Well, let's change the corners of a rectangle. The rectangle is one of the few tools that has a edit corners. So if this is locked and you put a 2-inch radius all the way around, it does that. If you have it unlocked, you could put a 2-inch radius just around one corner. And also while you do that, it could be a corner. It could be a scallop shape. And let's do a 1 inch. And it did just that corner because I have it locked. If I back up and lock it, when I do right here and hit the scallop and do a 1 inch scallop, I get that shape. This is chamfer, and it does just square corner or at an angle corner. Let's get back. Now, without using this right here, you could use the shape tool and you can slide this in. It'll do all let's get back to a corner radius. You can change the corners with that. Now let's back up to a square or a rectangle. And if you hold down the control button, it will only do that one corner. I really like doing it with a rounded corner. But it'll only go to so far. And that's true with this. This will only go so far, and then it messes up your rectangle because it's changing everything. Even if you have this locked, if you made this 3 inches, well, it does work, but to a point, you can only go so far. Let's see what else. You can change, the reference point. This is pretty slick. Let's say you have it up here and you have this selected. We're going to change it to, with this lock, we're going to make it 50% of both sizes. It's still in that exact same spot, that coordinates. Now, if we have it in the center and we change it to 100%, well, let's tell you what, let's bring in indexing lines. I've got a bunch of indexing lines. Let's put it in the center of our rectangle. Now with this selected and it's in the center and we make it 100%, it grew 50% bigger from that center. What is also cool about the rectangle tool, let's say you have, let me get rid of the indexing lines. Let's say you have, well, let's just use these two objects right here. I think they're solid grouped together object. And if you select them both and double click on your rectangle tool, well, that puts a rectangle around your whole page. If you hold down the Shift key and double click your rectangle, it puts a box around your two items. I find this really important. Let's just make an example. Let's say you have a plaque and you make it whatever size the plaque is. And right down here, let's say you have a graphic. Let's just use this. Let's get rid of that rectangle. Let's make these a little smaller. Let's say you have these two graphics in the very corner, and that's all you're going to engrave, or that's a very big part that you're going to engrave. You want to know to make sure they look good. If you hold down the Shift key and put a rectangle around them, raise the bed of your laser and turn on your red dot pointer and run that rectangle, and that and if you go real slow, it'll let you, figure out, where it is from the item. Another way, without using any tool, let's put this in the very corner of that plaque. And let's say we want it, I don't think I'm exactly there. No, I'm not. I should be able to, I grabbed the whole rectangle. I should be able to grab that corner right there and snap to it. There it goes. I can set my nudge factor on 1 inch, and I can take this and move it 1 inch up and then 1 inch left. And then that way, you'll know that that's perfectly 1 inch off the edge. And if we go here to here, you see 1 inch. And if we go from here to here, you can use the control button to get a perfectly straight line. So you got a 1 inch by 1 inch square. I use that a lot when I'm lasering, and I'll do it in the center of the plaque. Let's say I have a piece of wood that has a knot hole in it, and I want to make sure I'm going to avoid that knot hole. Let's say the knot hole is, right here, and let's say it doesn't look bad. It's just it will engrave different. Well, I can have this up here. Look how it's changing and I can run that. Let me get rid of my lines or my measurement. I can run that box just to make sure with my red dot pointer that I'm not going to touch that knot hole. There's a lot with the rectangle tool. There's actually a 3-point rectangle tool that's basically another way to do things. I don't use it very much, but it's got its purposes because you can, let's just go over it real quick. Let's say you want it to be this long and then let go and then be this high. You can move it, stay in that position. Anyway, just a little bit of tidbit. Thank you for watching.